The Washington, D.C. courtroom buzzed with anticipation. Leonardo DiCaprio, Hollywood icon, was sworn in, not as a defendant, but as a key witness in a case that blurred the lines between cinema and reality. The trial centered on Michelle of the Fugees, but the real shadow was Jho Low, a fugitive Malaysian financier accused of orchestrating a multi-billion-dollar heist from the 1MDB fund. DiCaprio's testimony promised a glimpse into a world of excess and corruption. He recounted his relationship with Low, lavish parties, private jets, and gifts that defied belief. Low, he said, seemed legitimate, a business magnate eager to fund movies and mingle with the elite. Their connection began in exclusive nightclubs, where Low's generosity and supposed global connections dazzled everyone. This relationship would eventually bankroll The Wolf of Wall Street, a film about greed, funded by stolen billions. DiCaprio's words revealed how deeply this scandal had infiltrated Hollywood, turning stolen public money into cultural capital. The actor, once a con man on screen, now testified in a real-life drama that exposed a global scam and forced a reckoning with fame, money, and complicity. 1MDB was launched in 2009 as Malaysia's hope for economic transformation, but behind the scenes, Jho Low, without any official role, turned it into a personal slush fund, exploiting his ties to Prime Minister Najib Razak's family. Billions were siphoned off through shell companies and offshore accounts, funding luxury real estate, art, and super yachts. Investigative journalists exposed the scheme in 2015, revealing that hundreds of millions had landed in Najib's personal accounts. What began as a national project became one of the world's largest kleptocracy cases, shaking Malaysia and triggering global investigations. Jho Low was the Gatsby of his era, conjuring a fortune from stolen billions to buy access and legitimacy. He threw legendary parties, gifting celebrities like DiCaprio and Paris Hilton with art and champagne, embedding himself in elite circles. This wasn't just indulgence, it was strategy. By associating with Hollywood's elite and funding charities, Low built a facade of respectability. His reputation laundering was so effective, few questioned his wealth. But every extravagance was paid for by Malaysia's stolen future. Low's carefully crafted illusion would eventually collapse, exposing the true cost of his deception. By 2011, Jho Low set his sights on Hollywood, co-founding Red Granite Pictures with the Malaysian Prime Minister's stepson. Their first major project, The Wolf of Wall Street, a film about financial crime, ironically funded by stolen money. Red Granite poured over $100 million of 1MDB funds into the film, making DiCaprio's dream project a reality. At the time, it seemed like a Hollywood fairy tale, until investigators traced the money's illicit origins. The film's success gave Low and his partners legitimacy, even as they laundered their reputations in plain sight, the ultimate con using stolen public funds to create a movie about greed, while the real criminal hid behind the camera. DiCaprio's friendship with Low extended beyond film. Low showered him with extravagant gifts: Marlon Brando's Oscar, a Basquiat painting, and lavish trips, all purchased with stolen funds. DiCaprio testified that he believed Low was a legitimate businessman, citing his supposed connections to global power players. Low also pledged millions to DiCaprio's environmental foundation, further cementing his image as a philanthropist. These gifts weren't just tokens of friendship, they were investments in credibility. Only when U.S. authorities began seizing assets did the true origins of Low's generosity come to light, forcing DiCaprio into an uncomfortable spotlight. As the scandal unraveled, the U.S. Department of Justice launched a massive investigation, targeting not just the stolen money but the assets it bought. Red Granite Pictures and The Wolf of Wall Street were named as conduits for laundered funds, putting DiCaprio in the investigators' sights. DiCaprio cooperated fully, surrendering gifts and assisting authorities. His actions helped establish him as a witness, not a suspect. Red Granite paid a $60 million settlement, and the U.S. seized luxury assets worldwide. The empire Low built on lies was dismantled piece by piece. The 1MDB saga continues with over $1.2 billion in assets recovered. Jho Low remains a fugitive, while Michelle was convicted in 2023. DiCaprio, never charged, returned all questionable gifts and cooperated with authorities. Yet questions linger. How could a savvy actor and activist not question Low's wealth? Was DiCaprio a victim of deception, or did he choose not to look too closely? His story is a cautionary tale about the seductive power of wealth and the ease with which Hollywood's glamour can mask darker truths. In the end, the line between innocence and complicity remains blurred. Subscribe for more real-world celebrity true crimes.